Hello, and welcome to Did You Mean to Say That, the podcast where we did not mean to say that. I'm your co-host, Erin.
And I'm your co-host, Bobby.
And we forget how to podcast.
Yeah, we took a week off, and now we don't know how to do it.
Yeah, so it's going to be weird.
But we're going to figure it out.
Yeah. I think this episode is going to be our craziest episode yet. It feels like it's been Dramageddon.
Yeah.
Because, I feel like we have three main topics.
Do we?
And they're all so insane.
Okay.
One being Clinton Kane and Brooke Schofield.
Totally.
Two being my crazy ass week that I had last week that Bobby has no idea about, that he's gonna be hearing about live.
Yeah.
And third being that a former president was shot.
Oh, yeah.
Oh, yeah.
I forgot.
That's insane. Buckle up.
Buckle up.
Everybody.
I'm buckled.
Should I just start with the story? We may as well just...
Yeah.
deep
I kind of
dive
want,
in.
a beverage.
Oh, okay. Get a beverage.
I'm going to get a beverage.
I think I have some White Claws.
Amazing.
Yeah, Bobby and I haven't seen each other in, literally 2 weeks.
Mm-hmm.
So, yeah, no idea.
There's nothing to really...
report.
Yeah. I've just been kind of, doing my own thing. And by that, I mean, just...
Going to the zoo.
Going to the zoo. And hang out with my family and just being productive at home and stuff like that. I've really just been in a what do you call it? Introverted vibe lately.
Yeah, totally. I haven't heard from you either.
Well, the one group chat is so overwhelming that I don't even know where to
Yeah, I would just
jump in.
I wouldn't. I would just come just pretend none of that ever happened.
Yeah, I think that's what I'll do. Just
I would just
hey
start over,
guys,
clean slate.
or just say something crazy and random.
Yeah, I would just clean slate it. Because a lot of what we were talking about in that group chat was some of this stuff that I'm about to tell you, so they all have all the context. Because so this group chat is me, Bobby, Morgan, Taylor, and Mackenzie.
Mm-hmm.
Obviously, Mackenzie and I are on the phone 24 hours a day. And then Morgan and Tay hung out. We all hung out at one point. We all hung out with the person that the story is about one night. And Morgan's involved in the story. So
okay,
we all had the context that you didn't. So now you will. And you can disregard all those and just start over.
Jump right back in.
Yeah. So some of you saw I posted on my story. I was really going through it. And some psycho shit happened. I think this is probably going to be one of the hardest episodes for me to edit because it is such a long story that has so much context that I want to tell you all of, but they don't necessarily need every detail, but I want to tell you the story.
That is the kicker usually.
So I'm going to have to cut some of that out and it's just going to be tough. I also need to use aliases and I need to not fuck that up.
Mm-hmm.
So I'm going to go with Zach.
Okay.
And
I already don't like him.
why is this always so hard for us?
I don't know. Zach and...
Brianna, here she comes.
Okay.
So, as you guys know, I do play sand volleyball. Not sure if you've heard. I love all of the people that I play with, and some of them are actually becoming my friends who I want to hang out with outside of volleyball, and I really truly love them. And Zach was kind of becoming one of those people. He was getting kind of close with Morgan. He's been playing down there with them for 4 years. Over the past 3 months, we've gotten a little bit closer just because him and Morgan got a little bit closer, and we've just gotten closer in general with volleyball people because I've been playing way more often. We've been playing till 2:30 in the morning. Sometimes we go to Waffle House afterwards. I invited some of them to my birthday, and some of them came. So he was actually at my birthday.
He was?
Yes.
When I was there?
Yes.
Wait, really?
Yes. And it's not the gay one. It's the other one.
Oh, at the picnic.
At the picnic. But I can tell. I can just read people,
Totally.
But
totally.
This is for fucking real. I know that something's a little bit off. I had even said to Morgan, I don't really fully know how to talk to him. We don't really click. I a lot of times do not know what he's talking about. And I love him, but I know that we're never going to be that close, and I don't really want to hang out with him outside of volleyball because I can just see the vibes. That's just what's been going on. So over the past I'd say 2 months, some situations have just like escalated with him, with other people there, to the point where they've become like physically violent.
Oh my God.
Like 3 people.
Okay.
Like 4. And I was not present for any of the situations, but one of them is with my friend who I know is not on that shit. And based on other witness testimonies, was literally like, yo, dude, what's happening right now? Like, we're not engaging. So there were like 1, 2, 3. There were 3 instances of physical violence that I had heard about and that other people were at. He told me those stories from his perspective as well. And I was just like, damn, that's crazy. But I was still like, what's going on with this guy? Like, what the fuck? And then he got like verbally very combative with me over like something to do with something stupid. And I was just kind of like, what? And then he got verbally very combative with Morgan over the same exact situation, but a different day. So we were both just like, is something like wrong with him? Like, what has been happening lately? Like, just very weird behavior that like didn't really make any sense. And I've known him for like a year. And like I said, the rest of the people at volleyball have known him for like 2, 3, 4 years. So like kind of out of character, but then we were trying to figure out like, is this out of character or were we just not that close with him and now we're just seeing it?
Yeah.
Still don't know the answer to that.
Okay.
Last Sunday, I arrived to volleyball and my friend Brianna looks like just stunned. I walk over there and she's like, can I use your phone? I'm like, yeah, totally. We go get my phone. Someone walks by her and is like, hey, are you okay? And she was like, I can't answer that right now or I'm going to cry. She tells me her and Zach have been hanging out every day nonstop for 3 weeks, like talking. And the night before this, so Saturday night, they were at a pool party at our friend Ben's house, Jake, who we've talked about on here. Why'd you say that?
I already forgot about him.
Totally. And I think maybe another one of our friends were all at a pool party at Ben's house. And they were about to shotgun something. And I guess Zach had said to him, like, move so you don't get it on me or something. But was immediately aggressive about it and, like, wasn't requesting. And then he just kicks Ben in the chest, knocks the wind out of him, and then is, like, shoving him, like, over and over again.
What?
To the point where Jake has to come over and, like, separate them and makes everyone leave. Okay. Brianna and Zach leave. They go to, like, a house party and, like, whatever. The next morning, everyone's texting Brianna because, like, she kind of disappeared that night. Like, people were texting her all night and she wasn't answering. And they were like, hey, are you good? Like, what's going on with you? And Zach, like, took offense to that and was like, why isn't anyone checking on me? Like, just got, like, baby. And then just made the morning, like, stressful and, like, weird. They were all supposed to go kayaking on Sunday together, Ben and Zach included. And so Brianna was like, I don't think I want to do that anymore. Like, I don't think we need to, like, be there. And, like, I don't, like, want to hang out either. Like, I kind of need a break. And he, like, freaks out. So they're leaving his apartment. Her purse is in his car with her car keys and just, like, all of her stuff, but not her phone. He locks his apartment. They walk out. They're, like, walking to his car. He gets in his car and leaves her there. And if you could see this man's apartment and where it is, horrifying.
No. Okay.
But she ends up calling our friend Luis, ask him to pick her up, take her to go get her spare key from her grandparents' house so she can get her car, and then they ended up going kayaking. So that happened, and then Zach called her and she texted Zach and said, like, hey, just so you know, like, my stuff's in your car, like, I'm gonna need it back. And he calls her and he's like, what are we doing? And she's like, I don't know, Luis is picking me up, like, you just left me outside of your apartment with all my stuff, like, I'm going kayaking, I don't know what you're doing. He's like, I'm just chilling in the shade, like, what's up? Like, just acting like that didn't just happen.
Typical.
So yeah, and triggering. So she ends up going kayaking. She then goes to Sawyer later, where we play, knowing that he's there, and walks up to him and is like, hey, can I get my stuff out of your car? Not thinking anything of it. He rolls his eyes, walks away from her. Okay.
Oh,
She goes up to him again and is like, so the stuff, like, what? And he goes, what stuff? I don't know what you're talking about.
Oh, hell no.
Immediately, we're like, okay. So she now has her spare key to her car and her phone only. All her other shit's in his car. She walks to her car. Decides, I'm going to go look in his car to see if I can see it. Because then at least I can come back and be like,
it's right
hello,
there.
It's right there. You need to get my stuff. When she went up there, his door was unlocked. So she just opened it because she didn't see her stuff. She opened his trunk, finds all her stuff in his trunk. So he moved it out of his car into his trunk.
Psycho.
Weird. While she's in the trunk, runs up from behind her, grabs her and like throws her out of the way and is like demanding that she put her stuff back in his trunk. Like literally like, don't touch my fucking stuff. That's my fucking stuff. Like freaking out on her stuff, by the way. And she had set her phone and her spare key on top of the car when she opened the door.
Oh, no.
He grabs that stuff and is like, if you want your stuff back, like, we need to talk. We need to have a conversation. And she's like, you don't need to blackmail me to have a conversation. Like, let's just talk. Like, what? And then she said they sat there in silence for 1 full minute. And then she was like, she said, I was humming espresso the whole time. And then she's like, so, like, what do you want to talk about? Another full minute of silence. And then he just, like, snaps and is like, no, like, you don't respect my stuff. You don't respect my feelings. Like, I don't have to respect your stuff. Like, da-da-da-da. Grabs the shit, gets in the car, drives away with it, never to be seen again.
Like, to this day?
To this day. Well, I've seen him, but no stuff. Mm-hmm. So at the time that I see her and she's asking for my phone, this had all just happened.
Okay.
And she told me that, like, so we play on the sand courts and then there's, like, the park. She said as soon as it happened, she just, like, went in the park and sat in the grass for, like, 20 minutes and was just like,
what the fuck?
Like, there's no way this is happening. I am stranded here. I have no phone. Like, what? So then when she see me walked up, she asked for my phone, whatever. And then I was like, the woman was too stunned to speak. Like, she's telling me this whole story and I'm just like, what do we, I don't know what we do. I literally don't know what we do. And we checked the location of her phone. He immediately turned it off. Like, he knows exactly what he's doing. He's a psycho.
Ew.
Yeah. I'm like, okay, well, let's just stay here until the park closes in case he does come back so that we're, like, around others. If he does come back, maybe we can get someone to, like, help you get the things or whatever. And if not, I'll just take you home and, like, we'll assess. But, like, I'm like, we can't drive to his house. You and me are not driving to this man's house. He's clearly insane. Like, I don't know what to do. And, like, let's just, you know, see if he comes back. So we did that. So she ended up sitting out the next game. I was playing. I'm seeing her on the bench. At one point, I look back, and she's not on the bench anymore. And I'm like, bitch, you got to stay in one place because I don't know how to find you. And, like, what the fuck is going on? The game ends, and I thought I saw her go back behind the bleachers, which is, like, the woods and, like, the river if you go all the way back. So I end up going back there after the game. And I see her, and I don't see him, and I say, hey, are you good? He stands up, and he's there.
Oh.
Starts yelling at me and walking towards me.
Excuse me?
Oh, honey, it gets way worse. Psycho starts going, are you talking to me? Because if you're not talking to me, you can get the fuck out of here. And I was like, no, baby, I'm not talking to you. Like, but I'm not acting anything like that. I'm horrified.
Yeah, for
he
sure.
He also has
That's
a
scary.
Rottweiler.
Yeah.
Who is, like, old and slow. I don't even know if he's old. He's, like, very slow and, like, large. And, like, I don't think he could do anything. But, like, I'm really scared of dogs. And, like, the idea that this man is so sick in his head that he could, like, sick this dog on me in that moment. I was like, act natural. Crazy.
Mm-hmm.
Been there is crazy.
Well.
So he starts getting up, coming towards me. And I'm like, no, I'm not talking to you. Like, I'm just trying to ask her if she's good. Like, whatever. And I just keep, like, talking to her. She won't speak. And she looks like, I can't even explain the look on her face. Like, it was, like, horrifying looking back on it. But me being in all the situations that I've been in with my friends, when I walked back, she was, like, smoking a blunt. I'm thinking, okay, well, this bitch just decided to, like, get back with him, and they're just talking, and, like, I don't need to be involved in this. Like, this is fucked up. He keeps coming towards me, and I'm holding my phone, and it has, like, the text, and I say to her, like, Jake texted you back on my phone. Like, do you need my phone? Like, whatever. And he's like, did you come back here to say hi to me? Because if you're not going to fucking say hi to me, you can get the fuck out of here. Just, like, keep saying that. And I'm like, dude, no. Like, what? I'm still talking to her. He grabs my phone out of my hands. And I am, like, horrified. And I'm, like, looking him in his face while he's doing it. And he looks fucking psychotic. And I have to literally pry his fingers off of my phone. He's, like, death gripping my phone. My phone.
Oh, my God.
And I'm like, bro. I get my phone back. And I'm like, okay, well, just, like, let me know if you need to use my phone. Like, I don't know what this is. He's, like, now this close to me and is asking me if I'm back there to give him a hug. And if I'm not back there to give him a hug, then, like, I need to get out of there.
Is he on meth?
It looks like it. I don't know.
He has to be on something.
I, like, put my arm out like this because this is how close he is to me. I'm touching his chest. And I'm saying, no, I'm not here to hug you. Like, I turn around to walk back. He wraps his arms around me and won't let me go. And I
Erin.
literally, I know. I had to literally throw his arms off of me. And I'm like, bro, I don't know what the fuck you're on right now, but you need to chill the fuck out. And then I walk back to, like, where everybody's playing. Because, mind you, we're 10 feet away from them. But the way that it is with the lights and how dark it is back there, like, they can't see or hear me. So it's just horrifying. And I go back and I sit on the bleachers, and this guy who isn't playing, like, starts talking to me. I literally can't speak. Like, I am just, like, so shocked. And it took me, like, over 24 hours to, like, process and admit to myself that this man just put his fucking hands on me.
That's
like,
horrifying.
I was just like, that was crazy. Like, what? And then I end up playing a game, and I'm, like, so fucked up and zoned out. And people know that something's going on with her because of, like, you know, her asking me. Just, like, they can tell. And people keep asking me, like, what's going on with Brianna? And I'm like, it's just not my business. Like, I don't know. This is something I need to be sharing with you all. And then Jake was at a game somewhere else, and then he messaged me and was like, I'm on my way. And I went back there, and they weren't there anymore. So he gets there. I tell him what happened. He's like, well, I'm just going to go talk to them. And I'm like, I don't think they're back there anymore, but, like, whatever. He ends up scouring the whole fucking park for them, like, goes all the way to Montgomery and all the way to the Roebling Bridge and back to the courts, and is like, I can't find them. And then our two other friends are there too, and we all start, like, kind of freaking out because we're like, I know they're together, and he hasn't given her stuff back. So, like, because her phone location's not updating. So I'm like, the fact that she just doesn't have a phone right now is just giving kidnapping. Like, I don't know what we're supposed to do. We were like, do we call the cops? But, like, she's not going to be a missing person for 48 hours. Like, what the fuck? So we end up just, like, staying there, like, not knowing what to do because her car is still there and his car is now gone. So we're like, he has her, like, with him. Like, what? We end up finding his address in our chat. He had, like, said it one time, and we were like, okay, we're going to go there and, like, see if he's there, see if she's there. And if she is, like, I guess then we'll call the cops or, like, bring some other people with us, knock on the door. Like, I don't know what we're supposed to do. So we leave. Like, Jake is like, I'm going to go down to Montgomery Inn parking lot, make sure one more time they're not there, and then I'll come back. While he's doing that, he sees them back at his car, and she ends up getting out, and then we all, like, meet back in the parking lot. She's fucking sobbing, and she is just like, I don't even know what just happened to me. He just yelled at me for an hour straight, and, like, I still don't have any of my shit, and, like, something's wrong with him. Like, I don't know what's going on. So she tells us that right after I walked back there, she tried to follow me, and he literally said to her, like, you can ask me if you can go talk to her, and I'll tell you if you can go talk to her. We're gonna go over here. And, like, takes her somewhere else. And, like...
Are you guys hearing this?
Yeah, like, she, like, just hearing her over the past few days, like, explain, like, what was going through her head while they were back there is, like, just heartbreaking and so horrifying. She just was, like, went into full survival mode, like, was genuinely like, I don't have a phone, we're in the woods, no one can see us, like, I don't know what this man is going to do. And at first she like wasn't really understanding the severity of it. And so at first was just like, can I get my stuff back? Or like, what's going on? Like,
Right.
So she was like, at first just like talking to him to like get the stuff back. And then once he like took her over there and as they were walking through the woods, she was like, I just didn't want him to feel like he had nothing to lose and like fucking kill me. Like I was just like, I was trying not to react to anything he said. I was trying not to say the wrong thing. I was just like so horrified. She said while he was yelling at her, she realized that he was wearing her glasses on top of his head.
Like her seeing glasses?
Her seeing glasses, just like on his head while screaming at her and saying he doesn't have her stuff. And she said in that moment, like, I knew I was done for. Like,
No,
I
you
was
guys.
like, no. She was like, I knew if I reacted to it, I'd never get him back. And also that, like, I couldn't react to it. So she was like, I just saw it, realized immediately what I was dealing with, and then just had to, like, keep sitting there and act like I didn't just fucking see that. Wearing them like a fucking trophy, like, I have your stuff and you don't, and I'm never going to give it to you. And then while literally telling her,
I don't have
your stuff. Maybe you need to retrace your steps.
Even though he literally threw them in the trunk. And
even though she had seen them 45 minutes earlier in his car and had them in her hands, and he pushed her out of the way and made her put them back, took the rest of her stuff, and then left. And also, her phone's now off. Like, what are you talking about? He literally started, like, gaslighting her in real time. Obviously, it wasn't working because it was fucking 45 minutes ago that I saw all this stuff. But was just like, I'm not responsible for your things. Like, you need to be responsible for your stuff. Like, I don't know. Where is your stuff? Like, where do you... And then, so she said she just had to start being like, okay, so where do you think it might be? Like, where could we look together?
You
like,
stupid little demon.
Yeah. And she said he was just, like... rambling, like talking to himself, and she was just sitting there.
Drugs.
Like was going back and forth from like, oh, but you're cool, and like I want to watch that anime that you told me about. I don't give a fuck about you. Like I don't fucking care about you. Like you put me in this, just like literally like without any response from her, just going back and forth, like having a full blown conversation with himself. And she was just like, right, so the stuff, like, huh?
You're looking so skinny, by the way. I just want to say.
I haven't eaten in days. No,
well,
I'm just kidding.
Not good.
I'm totally kidding. I've eaten so much. He ended up pulling over, and she was like, well, do you mind if I check the trunk again? Like, just make sure it's not in there. Like, what are we doing? And she went back in the trunk. It wasn't there.
What?
But she said at one point, she was, like, reaching for something, and he was like, don't fucking touch it. That's my fucking stuff. Like, don't touch my stuff. So, like... still to this day have no idea if he, because I don't think he went home because he called Morgan immediately after all this, after he left the first time.
Was she there?
No.
Okay.
And asked if he could come over. So I don't think he ever went home. So I think that
he threw it up.
He threw it in the river or just got rid of it somewhere.
Cool.
Yeah. So car keys, spare keys, cell phone, purse, clothes, wallet, identification. Glasses. He did end up giving her glasses back.
Aww,
as a treat.
That's so sweet
at the very end. Yeah.
Okay.
So we then call the police.
Of course.
And we also call AAA.
This is the part that I kind of caught in the group chat, but I was so far. I was like, I'm just going to wait. That's when I texted you.
By the time we found her, it was probably midnight, I'd say. And we go up by her car. She's also in a spot where you can't be parked from 11 p.m. to 5 a.m.
Great.
So I'm also like, we need to call the cops just to let them know that, like, if there's anything they can do to not tow this vehicle, and also make a report about the stolen items and, like, whatever. And we sit there for 3.5 hours, and no one from either thing ever comes or contacts me.
What?
Yeah. At one point, we see a cop drive by on, like, that little railroad track.
The one that Sawyer. I was on?
Yeah. Yes.
Okay.
And two of them said they saw his window down. I cannot confirm nor deny, but we are screaming at the top of our lungs. 5 people. Please help. Like, nothing. Keeps going. We end up still waiting. About 30 minutes later, it comes back the other way. So now, in this way, like, this is him driving and this is us. So, like, There's no way you're not seeing us. Like,
Totally.
we are literally screaming. And then Satch gets on her bike again, follows him all the way to the Montgomery Inn parking lot. She said she was like 3 yards away, like screaming at him. He skirted out of the parking lot, went off road to avoid her, and left.
Excuse me?
What? Like, how? So bizarre. And then Andrew told me last night that he actually went into the District 5 office like a few days later and was like, hey, like, what was that about? And they were like, oh, they were probably just responding to another call. Like, no, the fuck they weren't.
No, they weren't. They were
also,
doing
they never responded to my call.
Yeah.
The call that was coming from inside the house.
Yeah.
Like, I'm 20 feet away from this person with an active existing call that I'm waiting for an officer for.
When you called, did you talk to someone or did you like...
Fully.
Oh.
Yeah.
Okay.
They were supposed to send someone out. But I got an incident number, so we ended up just writing a note and leaving it on the car, like, per incident number, whatever, like, please don't tow, please call this number, like, whatever. So no one ever towed their car. But also no cops besides that one ever drove by all night, and we were like, hello? Have you ever experienced that? Can you imagine sitting in one place in downtown Cincinnati for 3.5 hours and not seeing a police officer at any point?
That one cop was probably like, don't go down there. Like, we don't want to deal with anything tonight.
The crazies are there trying to flag us down for help. Imagine we helped somebody. Protect and serve my fucking ass. The next day, we end up going to get her a temporary debit card. We go into the police station to, like, press charges. While we're in the fucking police station, this cop is... like downplaying it, obviously, and like I've told this story to like so many like cops or like people at volleyball, and the second that I tell them that they were like talking for 3 weeks or like dating, they're just like, oh. And I'm like,
ow,
how does that change the situation? Like, what? And we told this one cop about it, and she was like, oh, so you left yours, like you can't just trust people with your things. And we were just like,
wow,
bitch.
We're victim shaming now.
Oh, it gets so much worse on that front. Like, that's why I'm so fucking triggered and fucked up. So she fills out all the paperwork she's supposed to fill out. He's like, you don't want to press charges or anything, do you? And she's like,
that's exactly what I think
I like, I don't know. And he was like, well, sign and date this saying that you don't want to press charges. She turns around to me and she's like, should I do that? And I'm like, girl, if you want to press charges. Like, fuck this. Like, what? And he goes, I mean, like, it's just going to be a whole thing. And then he goes, actually, come back here for a second. Takes her into this back room where I can still hear them and is like, I don't want anyone to be like convincing you of what you should do, as in me, who has literally not said anything.
And he's trying.
Exactly. He's like, I'm not trying to convince you not to either, but like, it's just like, it's going to be a long process.
What,
like,
is this your boy or something? Like, what the fuck?
Fucking know him? She ends up saying to him like, no, like, I want to press charges. I also like am scared of him. So like at this point, like I want everything to be on record in case anything else happens. And he looks at her and he says, well, if he's so scary, why'd you get involved with him in the first place?
I hope that cop dies.
Truly. And she
said, are you fucking
kidding me? Because I didn't know.
That's 3 weeks is getting to know someone.
3 weeks. You guys are acting like she's chosen to be in a marriage with him for 10 years and they have 3 kids. Like, she didn't know he was dangerous until she found out he was dangerous and then said, I don't want to see you anymore. And then he turned even more dangerous. And multiple cops said that to her. And I truly...
that is fucked up.
I fucking know.
I don't even know what to say. 2
people from volleyball said that to her, and 2 different police officers said that to her. Yeah, I'm looking at everybody a little bit different now. My favorite activity has been obliterated. I'm so fucked up about it. It is like taken all the joy out of my life. Yeah. We file the police report. We do all we can that day. We end up coming back here. We go to get a locksmith into her car that night. While we're at the locksmith, we see Zach at the park by himself with his dog. I call the police and I say, hey, like, we filed a police report earlier this morning and he did mention that because she wanted to press charges, like, the next step would be to arrest him. So I was just wanting to let someone know, like, I can see him right now. As soon as the cops get there, he descends into the woods. Oh my God. I'm so sorry. Before Monday rolls around, I totally forgot to tell you. He starts calling everybody from volleyball, including people that I'm with, to try and just like tell them some version of this story, like just get his story out there.
That's
like,
what Bleep did when the Tyler situation happened. Came in and tried to like switch it up.
And reaching out to people you're not close with, like just manically calling everybody to try and just get your story out. Like the amount of people he called that night is insane. And he ended up texting Ben, who he's now assaulted twice. I forgot to tell you that the guy that he kicked, he had already assaulted in a different setting 2 to 3 weeks prior.
Oh.
Yeah.
Okay.
And he's telling everyone that the night before at the pool party, like she was like straddling him in the pool, which like I asked her and she was like, yeah, I was. Like, what of it?
Yeah.
Because she also told Zach, I don't want to be in a relationship with you. Like, I'm just trying to have fun. Oh my God, you guys, I forgot to mention she's 22 and he's 32. I totally forgot. So, you know, she had prefaced this whole thing and she was like, there were signs and like things that I didn't like. One being that he's 32 and I'm 22.
Well, when you're 22, that's not really a red flag.
But she was like, but like I told him I didn't want a relationship. So like nothing was really like concerning to me or like a problem for me because like she was just kind of being nonchalant about it. Like, so me straddling my gay friend in the pool in front of you, who I've told I don't want a relationship with and who I've been talking to for 3 weeks. Okay.
Mm-hmm.
He's gay also. Can't stress that enough. And I asked him about it and he was like, well, I had said earlier that night that I would eat pussy if given the opportunity. And I'm like, okay.
Okay, well.
But still, like, you don't, and also, like, none of that is even if that made you mad, none of that is a justification for any of this.
No.
You freak.
Totally. She could have fucked someone in the pool in front of him, and that's still not a justification for any of it.
For you putting your hands on her, putting your hands on me, and stealing all of her belongings. What? So, anyway, that night that we're all waiting for the car, he texted Ben and said, I'm coming over.
Oh.
And Ben said, no, you're not. And he said, on my way, kissy face. And then he said he just sent him his street number just to let him know that he knew where he lived. Never showed up, but threatening.
Uh-huh.
Then, so the next day, okay, I'm back. Sorry, I had to give you that because that's crazy. The next day when we see him while we're unlocking the car, I call the police. They end up coming out. Right when they get there, he descends into the woods. I said that. We then find out the next day that he texted our friend Luis, the one that picked Brianna up from Zach's house when she got locked out of it and he left with her stuff the first time, sent him a picture of his foot in his driveway in that window of time where we couldn't see him anymore. So he texted us the next morning and was like, this is my driveway, by the way. Like, if Zach at all even knows where you live, like, please keep your doors locked and, like, just stay safe. So I was like, okay. So this is, like, insane.
Mm-hmm.
So I call the police. They come. They can't find him. And she said to me, she said she was cool when she first got there. She was like, there's probably nothing we can do. This is petty theft. And the cop that we had seen earlier never finished the paperwork. So there was no warrant for his arrest. There was no charges filed. There was nothing on file for this guy.
That's fucked up.
Yeah. So when I called the police, there was nothing about this. And they were like, we can't really do anything for petty theft, like, of personal belongings. Like, all we can do is, like, ask him to give them back to you. And she said, like, we're willing. It was like her and another cop pulled up. She was like, we're willing to, like, go look for him and we will go talk to him for you. But, like, if he says he doesn't have it, like, there's nothing we can do about this. So then she's like, yeah, we can't find him. But if you see him, give us a call back. You know, we'll call back. I'm like, all right, bet. We end up seeing him come back. He comes back fully and just plays volleyball all night. Like,
what?
Nothing's going on. Yeah, fully. And I end up calling them again. They come back. She comes and she's like, again, I'll go talk to him because we can see him at this point. I'm like, there he is, like, right there. And she's like, yeah, we'll go talk to him. She goes and talks to him. Her and another officer go talk to him for a long time in front of literally everybody at Sawyer. And she comes back and she's like, yeah, you're never getting that stuff back. And there's nothing we can do. Like, he's not budging. He says that you were drunk and you lost your own things. And then he says that you broke into his car. That's the story he's telling everyone now, too, by the way, is that she broke into his car because it was unlocked and her things were in there and she opened the door. Mind you, he has the keys to her car, so could get in it at any time if he wanted, not breaking in.
Mm-hmm.
But I say to the cop at one point, I'm like, well, he's assaulted like 5 people here, so like we'll probably be calling y'all again because like he is gonna assault someone else here. And she looks at me and she says, why don't you guys just stop coming here? And I'm like,
why doesn't he go to jail?
That's exactly what everyone said to her. I literally said, it's a public park. What do you mean stop coming here? Like, what are you talking about? And then I said, like, I explained like the group chat and the vibe to her. And I'm like, this is just like what we do. Like, he's just is violent. So like, why would we stop coming here? Because he's fucked up. Like, why don't you do something about him? Like, what? So they end up leaving, whatever. Some of our other friends get there. And we just end up, like, looking for his car, like, all night. Our one friend goes up to him and, like, tries to talk some sense into him. I use friend loosely. I don't really know him. But he used to be friends with Zach, and he thinks he can, like, get through to him or, like, something. Oh. So he ends up going, I've been talking for 45 minutes straight. And I'm not even done.
Wow.
And the former president was shot. So, like, he ends up going up to him and talks to him. And he said he approached it of, like, okay, what if she did lose her things? Like, you're right. It's her fault. She lost all of her stuff. How would it affect you to let her look through your car again? Like, what if we went to your car and, like, I'll help you clean it out. Like, we can go through it. It would probably be in your best interest to prove that it's not in your car if she thinks you stole it and you're saying she lost it. Like, let's go do it. And he goes, I got dropped off here, so my car is not here. He has a fucking huge ass dog. So then we end up driving to his house because we're like, okay, then your car's at home. Obviously, his car's not there. We come back. We end up finding his car. While he was talking to him and he told him his car wasn't there, he then says he's already called his lawyers because when he found her breaking into his car, she was going through all of his stuff and she stole $500 in cash from him.
Oh.
This man has no electricity and hasn't had electricity for at least like 6 months that we know of. You don't have $500 cash in your car.
Right.
Also, I spent the next 4 days with her, like, trying desperately to figure out how to get all of her shit back. If we had $500 cash, those 4 days would have been a lot easier. Like, she had to get a phone. She still doesn't have the keys. Like, all these things cost so much money. And you can't do any of them without an ID. So it was just, like, the most frustrating, chaotic 4 days. Like, just, like, so much had to be done. It's like you ruin someone's life by doing that. Like, obviously I got back on track, but like for like 5 days she's just like stranded, helpless. Like, it's crazy to not have a phone in this day and age.
Oh, for sure.
So we like told a few people what had happened. I end up getting her car towed finally. AAA does show up this time and they get the car to a safe location. She still doesn't have keys for it, but at least it's not there. The next morning, her dad ends up calling. They, like, finish the paperwork because a man called.
Uh-huh.
And now there's a warrant out for his arrest, so whatever. But I texted I made, like, a smaller chat of people that I, like, know. And who I know Brianna and Zach and, like, whatever. And I, like, briefly explained the situation. I sent, like, a really long text, like, and I said, I'm coming to you all to express that this has become a safe space and a community for a lot of us. I'm hoping and genuinely asking that we continue to be a community and protect one another. These are not isolated incidents, and they're getting increasingly concerning. I know myself and others are feeling extremely uncomfortable and unsafe around him. I guess I'm just asking that we watch out for one another, keep an extra close eye on our belongings. I said, furthermore, I completely understand and empathize with the fact that something is happening with him, and I'm absolutely not discouraging anyone who feels so inclined to help him from helping him. But I also want to prioritize the safety and comfort of the people who've done nothing wrong, and I don't want to normalize this behavior amongst the group. I know that something is wrong with him, like, just based on, I'm not going to give everyone the full context or, like, take 3 hours to tell you every detail, but, like, something is absolutely happening to him, and I don't know if he is bipolar and unmedicated and this happens every so often, or if something happened 2 months ago, or if Like, we have one friend in the group who is like a psych major, and like after he called him, he was like, I think he might have schizophrenia, like for real. So like, there's nothing he can do about that, and I totally understand that, and like I want whoever is close to him to take care of that. But I don't want him to come around us anymore. Like, there are other places he can go that we don't all go, and I'm so sorry, but like if we're there, I would prioritize that over him remaining comfortable.
Yeah.
And I also like the way that we do it is like you just circle up and count off and you just go on teams with people. So like I'm never again going to be on a team with him or play against him on a court. Like if him and I are ever there at the same time, and like I'm just gonna have to leave, and that sucks. And so is Brianna, so is Ben, so is all the other people that have been affected by this. Don't want to be around him anymore.
Yeah.
And there's several other people who it didn't happen to, but are very supportive of the situation, that are like, he's dead to me. Like, what are you talking about? But again, I totally understand that like something's wrong with him. And so you guys who weren't victimized by him and who feel really close with him, please fucking help him.
Yeah.
Like, please do that.
Yeah.
I don't know how it could have been more clear. So one of the guys from indoor volleyball, like I said, there's so many places around here that he goes to, responded and said, I completely agree with everything said here, Erin. We removed him from the indoor group a while back, and if he starts trying to come to NKU in the fall, we plan on asking the rec center to turn him away, as he makes a lot of people, especially women, feel endangered. None of us even knew this. I've seen him with this abusive pattern with a lot of girls at this point, and he's also just dangerous to everyone else as well. Is Brianna safe? Does she have a safe place to stay? Also, is there anyone else that feels endangered at their homes with him? Read that message, started immediately sobbing. Because, like, the night before, it just made me feel so fucked up and triggered and gaslit in real time, as if, like, this shit didn't just happen. And, like, some of the things that some other people said were, like, verbatim things that have been said to me about my abusive relationship with a person who was mentally ill. And, like, I can't handle it. Like, I'm losing it. So once that happened, I was just like, okay, so this is like a thing. But I said I can't support making people who have been victimized by him feel uncomfortable or unsafe in order to pacify the person who's causing that. Again, I'm totally in support of people helping him on their own time, but I'm not in support of making several people feel unsafe because of this one person. My first concern is helping the people he's hurt feel safe. My second concern is hoping he gets the help he needs, because like that is like it for me. Like, yeah. I care about the victims primarily, and then secondarily, I care about him. Mm-hmm. Like, it's crazy to me that you heard this whole story, and then immediately we're like, but what about Zach?
Yeah.
Like, what about Brianna?
Yeah.
Like, crazy. So, whatever. Like, we ended up, like, just talking it out. Lots of people have talked to him. People have reached out to Brianna. People gave her, like, $800 to get her shit back collectively. It was really sweet.
That is very sweet.
Awesome. We got her an ID. She's ordered her keys. I think they're supposed to be here tomorrow. Like, she's okay. Like, we figured it out. It just sucks that, like, because now you're always wondering, like, is he going to be there? Am I going to have to leave? Is everyone going to make me uncomfortable? Like, and he has come one time when we were there and we all just left. Like, we got a big group of people to leave, and, like, some people stayed and played with him. And, like, that's fine. Like, yeah, it is what it is. Keep playing with him, whatever. So there's another court at NKU that like a different kind of group of people goes to. They're all like young though. So like I'm not like making friends there like the way that I could at like Sawyer. They're like 19 years old, but we told one of the 19-year-olds and he immediately was just like, so when are we jumping him? Like, what are you guys talking about? And I'm like, yeah, facts. So yeah, it's been insane. It was like a really, really, truly insane like 5 days straight of just like I wasn't sleeping, like just trying to work while like taking her everywhere she needed to go. We were at the DMV for 2.5 hours one day. Like, it was sick.
Oh my god.
Yeah, people are treating me like I want people to like be mean to this guy or like exile him from the community, never speak to him again, I hope he kills himself, like type shit. And I'm just like, I'm literally begging you guys to help him. Yeah. But I'm also begging you guys to protect us. Like, I don't understand why that cannot be understood. Like, how many more ways could I put it? Like, I'm seriously concerned for this guy. but I also have been a victim of an abuser who was mentally ill and had an addiction and felt like I was responsible for helping him and stayed in it and made excuses for him because of that. And that's what all you people are doing.
Yeah.
Like, it doesn't excuse his behavior. It explains it and helps us give us some context. And yes, he needs help, but that doesn't like mitigate what he did to people or like make like, you should not ask those people who he did this to have sympathy for him.
No, for sure.
It's so evil to fucking do that. And I'm based on all of this, I'm so happy for all of you that you've never experienced anything like this. Like,
yeah, right.
That's truly what it is, because it's like, damn, you've never had this happen to you, or you've never known anyone that this even happened to, if this is your mindset.
Are you fucking kidding me? Mm-mm. Oh my God.
So yeah.
Whew.
Yeah. So there are like 3 people whose responses to this were like very unsettling to me, and I will always look at you guys differently, but for the most part, like I said, so many people sent her money. She got $800. Like, she was able to literally replace her keys, phone, ID, everything with the money that other people sent. Like, it was so kind. There was so much support in that chat. Anyone who's affiliated with like the NKU venues literally was like, yeah, removed him, no problem, don't care, never want to see him again, hope you guys are good.
Great.
Like, type shit. Whoa. Hearing her talk about the way that he was talking to her and like gaslighting her and whatever, and the cops all like victim blaming and like asking us like, why are you guys here? Like, just like all of that was literally so triggering, truly, like in the true sense of the word. And I rarely ever feel triggered or like even use that word, but I like so many of the things that people said verbatim, I was just like, where have I heard that before? Like, oh my fucking God. Like,
well, I'm glad she's okay. And that she has a lot of support.
Yes.
And that's good that you were there for her. Mm-hmm. I mean, those people are fucked up and crazy, including the police.
Yeah, obviously.
And I can't believe, I don't know, that is crazy.
Yep. That's my story.
So what now? Just, you're not going to go as often, or you're just going to go and leave if he's there?
I'm just going to go, and if there's enough people where I don't have to like be on a court with him, like, I'll probably just play.
Yeah.
And I do appreciate, like, there are a lot of people who like aren't going to like tell him to leave or exclude him, but also aren't gonna not talk to him afterwards and be like, what's going on? Like, for sure there's one person who like we're friends with, the one who has the psych major degree, that like really wants to help him, has known him for a long time, and like doesn't want to exclude him, but also is like trying to kind of get through to him, hopefully get him some help, which like that I'm totally fine with. What I am not fine with is people just pretending this didn't happen and just being like, hey man, what's up, let's play.
Yeah.
Like, so I'm just gonna keep going. We have a solid group of people who is like, fuck Zach, hope he gets the help he needs, but I'm not fucking with that.
Totally.
So we ended up having a game night at someone's house after we had gotten Brianna like all her stuff, and we were like kind of like wrapped everything up a little bit. We were like, let's just like have fun. So we had so much fucking fun at this guy's house. We stayed till like 1:30 in the morning, and then we went to NKU and played volleyball till 4:30 in the morning.
Oh my God.
And it was just like the most fun night of my life. And
Hell
that
yeah.
was really like, okay, like there's still a community. It's just a little bit smaller.
For sure.
And like, it's okay.
Yeah.
So.
Well, that's good.
Yeah. So yeah, we're just going. I'm just asking in like that smaller chat, like, is he there? And if they say no, then I'm on my way.
Totally.
And if he shows up, I hope that you guys protect me.
Yeah.
I don't know. It definitely put a stain on the thing that I love so much. That used to just be such like a joy in my life. But it's okay. Shit happens. Men always ruin everything. So why would this be any different?
What's up with the warrant for his arrest now, though?
So we think that because it's like petty theft of personal belongings, they just don't care. So they're probably not going to arrest him. but they'll eventually just like serve him papers to appear in court. Luckily, we figured out there is a camera of a condominium complex that faces directly where he did it. So there's like, we went in and told them that, and he was like, I don't understand. Like, is there some other reason you want this? And we were like, what? It literally proves that he did it. Like, what? He's like, well, there'll be an investigating officer for like the court case, and like they'll call you, and if they want that, they'll let you know. And I'm like, what do you mean if they want that? Can we just provide it and you can just have it?
Yeah.
Like, what? So like, we still need to figure that out, but I don't know. She's like, I'm pressing the charges. I'm still going the court route, and he's dead to me. I don't know. And she was like, I don't want to give this any more energy. It sucks, but like, I got all my stuff. I'm never getting my other shit back, and
right.
Fuck it. So.
Wow.
Yeah. I hope that was okay. Like, I don't know what kind of episode this was. This is more just like a
story time.
A story time, truly.
Well, it can be a little story time episode moment.
Story time. But I don't want like the other two topics to get stale.
I don't have much to say about him getting shot. Like, I wish he did. More.
Yeah.
Sorry.
More. I wish he did more.
Yeah.
You will never convince me that he got shot, so I don't know. I don't think anybody's dead. I don't think any of this is real.
Oh, wow.
I've watched that video so many fucking times. You will literally never convince me that there were bullets anywhere. Have you seen like the video of like Reagan's attempted assassination that people have been sharing?
No.
Just like the way that they cover that man and don't move.
Yeah.
You never see that man again.
Maybe they hate him.
And so that was one of my theories. I was like, maybe they were just kind of like, I'm not risking my life for this guy.
For
like,
sure.
I know this is my job, but like, I'm going to do a bad job.
Yeah.
But they look like paid actors. I don't even fucking know. And I don't know. I just paid a lot of attention when we were learning about Hitler and Nazi Germany, and like staging fake political violence right before you're meant to be elected is like tactic number one.
Oh.
Yeah.
Well, it could be.
Yeah.
But I do wish he maybe got shot.
Yeah, I wish he died.
Yeah.
I've said that so many times on here. And it's crazy that how much I've been manifesting it, and then we get this close and it doesn't happen. Like, I need to manifest harder. And fuck you, Clinton Kane. You're a lying ass piece of shit.
Yeah. I didn't even get through the whole... Clinton Kane posted like a 20-part fucking TikTok series.
Lie number 1, lie number 2, lie number 22.
Like,
I think it's like
absolutely
24 parts or something.
Yeah, I could not get through all of it, but...
I did get through all of it, and like...
He's just lying.
Yeah, and like there were certain, like... Well, Brooke's response was my favorite. Like that meme that's going around that's like... Someone told me that you picked her up and you fucked her and then you bought her a Sprite, and then the guy responds like, first of all, I didn't buy anybody a Sprite. Like that's like what he was doing was just like...
The minor details that...
Yeah. He's like... I didn't lie about my age on the 16th. I lied about my age on the 6th. Like, you lied about your age. Like,
yeah.
What the fuck are you talking about? So, yeah. And then he turned his comments off, obviously. And, like, I feel for him in, like, the bullying aspect. And I don't want to add to that. But, like, where's your chapstick?
Yeah. Nowhere. And, like, he has to know people say that. Like, I swear to God, if I had, like, even one commenting on something about me, like, I would...
Changing it the next day.
Absolutely.
Also, if I had even remotely chapped lips...
I would never, but...
Definitely not... Exactly. Like, I wouldn't. So, definitely not making a video about it. Or
with it. Yeah.
Yeah, so that is, like, the one thing that I'm, like, sorry, I'm not trying to be a bully, but, like, oh my God, it's, like, hard to watch.
That,
like,
I can't... It gets under my skin so hard. I mean, first of all, before all this went down, I had him blocked on TikTok because, like... Anytime I would see him, which I don't know why I was seeing him, I guess because Brooke, but
yeah,
I was like, oh, gives me the heebie-jeebies.
He definitely gives me the heebie-jeebies. To me, like the whole time I was watching it, I was like, you have like text messages and like actual receipts. Like, you know that you guys spent like a lot of time together in person and talking on the phone. Like, things were said other than these texts.
Yeah,
like,
for sure.
Also, I don't know, believe women. Sorry.
Yeah.
Like... Oh, like maybe she got her dates mixed up. That doesn't mean she's lying about the context of your relationship. Like, just fucking crazy. I love when she was like, guys, please stream his song. He needs money.
for therapy.
I want to use that sound.
Please stream this podcast because I need money for therapy and so do you.
Oh, I have to. Like, I can't afford it and I have to go back.
I have to make a session, I think. Just because, like, it's been a month or so. Like, I just need a little check-in.
Well, we had said, like, maybe you would go, like, once a month and, like, you can afford that. Like,
yeah,
you can
for sure.
save up for that. Just a little touch base with the old girly.
Miss you.
Really, truly miss you, I guess.
Yeah.
I miss you on your behalf. Like, I love that for
sure.
you. That little therapy era. How's have you been?
I've been pretty good.
Yeah.
Overall.
Yeah.
You know.
Yeah.
Just trying to keep busy and whatever.
Yeah.
There have been some minor setbacks.
Of course, for a major comeback.
Yeah, for a major comeback. But no, I feel good.
Comeback. We're so back.
I feel good. I feel hot. I'm back on Hinge.
Really Hinge?
I got on Hinge like maybe a day or two ago and I have a lot of matches. I feel like Hinge is where it's at right now.
It really is, which I hate because it's by far my least favorite one. But
yeah,
well, not for you. You like are a relationship guy, so like that's
totally.
Like, that is where it's at.
So
if you're like casually dating, please don't be on Hinge. Like this is basically Match.com.
Although I am trying to just like casually date right now, like just totally go on some dates.
Yeah, I think I love that for you. Like
thanks.
Just experiencing life and people. Like I've said, say yes to life.
Say yes to life.
Say yes to life. Like I love dates.
Yeah.
Like, to me, like it really does not matter if that means anything to you. Like get a free meal, babe.
Yeah.
Hang out with someone.
So that's my new vibe.
Have someone compliment you for 30
dip my
minutes.
toes back in, especially now that I'm so hot. Well, I always was hot. Let's not get it twisted.
You were always so hot, but like this is like another level. Mm-hmm. Like I was watching like some old like clips or even like looking at old pictures and I was just like, whoa.
Yeah.
You have like glowed up.
I have.
And it's like, it's one of those things where like you don't know until you've glowed up. Like it's not like we were back then being like, oh, Bobby really needs a glow up.
Yeah,
like,
right.
I was like, God, you're so hot and pretty, and now it's like, oh my God.
I feel glowed up.
You really did that. And like you have achieved things that people like really, really work their whole lives for.
Like what?
Just being this hot. Oh. Like, because I'm watching back and I'm like, I look exactly the same as when we started. And this is what I strive to look like. This. Like this.
Ozempic. I'm just kidding.
I was just talking about that.
I'm not on
night.
Ozempic.
No.
For the record.
I wish.
I'll let you guys know how my dates go. I don't have any yet, but I will.
You will. Probably by next time. You'll at least have one set up.
Yeah.
Totally.
Oh, by the way, I'm not going to be here next Monday.
Oh, no.
I'm going to the lake. My uncle's lake house.
So just say, what fucking lake? I'm going to the lake.
I'm going to my uncle's lake house because I took off 5 days like months ago because I was supposed to go on vacation with my ex to celebrate our 1 year and his birthday. And so I was like, well, I have the opportunity to go on vacation still.
Exactly.
So I reached out to my cousin, who I'm like close with.
You won't be here Tuesday either?
No.
So it's like that week.
Mm-hmm. Or I'll be back Monday night. So wait, I will be here Tuesday.
We'll just film Tuesday instead. Okay, great. We'll be back next week.
Love you all.
Hopefully, in case something tragic. Hopefully, unless... Okay, love you. Bye. Thank you so much for watching. If you made it this far, like, thank you for giving a fuck about me. Thank you for everyone who reached out to me. I'm literally fine. That was the story. But it was a lot while it was happening. And we did have to pause filming, but we're back. I'm sorry also for like what this episode turns out like, but whatever.
Whatever.
Story time.
It's our podcast, bitch.
It's our show and not yours.
Yep.
Love you.
Love you. Mean it.
Bye. Like, comment, subscribe, share.
I'm just gonna say I got bad vibes from that guy at your birthday. I just didn't want to be rude. First of all, I couldn't understand a word he was saying. And he just like wasn't friendly.
Where's her stuff? Like, where is her stuff?
At the bottom of the river.
Literally.